What happens when a plant-based doctor tries to impress a diabetes and heart health specialist with one tiny ancient grain? Well, you're about to find out. I'm betting this 4,000-year-old superfood can outshine rice in every way. Lower blood sugar, more protein and flavours that will make you forget you're eating healthy. But will my colleague Dr. Sundhya Raman be impressed and convinced, or will I be eating humble pie? I mean humble pulao. Let's cook and find out. So Sundhya, I was gonna give everybody, like, we met on, I don't know, a helicopter ride or something, because every guest that's been on here, I was like, I met you at a conference with Plant-Based Health Professionals UK.
I think it's when we were snowboarding, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Oh, it might have been the parachute jump.
I know, yeah. I mean, we didn't break any limbs as well.
No, I know, it's amazing.
Friends for life, right? Really, in reality, could you tell everybody a bit about yourself? Because, you know, you coached my in-laws to better health as well. I'm so grateful for that. Can you tell everybody how you went into lifestyle medicine and also how you came about being plant-based? And I know that your whole family is plant-based as well, so we'd love to hear a bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I happened upon lifestyle medicine kind of by accident in a way, because a lot of my family had issues with diabetes and heart disease. I think that's really, really common amongst a lot of South Asian families, a lot of diabetes, heart disease. And, you know, we look like we're doing so many things right. We tend to cook our own food. We like a lot of fruit, vegetables, pulses and so on. But there are some things we're not quite doing right. And so my dad in particular, he had diabetes from when he was in his 40s. And he went on to have lots of heart attacks and bypass surgery and actually went blind from diabetes.
Gosh, sorry to hear.
Yeah. So, you know, he passed away a few years ago from heart failure, and all of this is actually quite common amongst people with diabetes. And so that's why I'm so glad that you are going to be helping people make better food choices, because this is one of the key ways in which, you know, we can help our patients. And I happened upon lifestyle medicine kind of by accident when trying to help my own family and the people I loved, and I recognized through my practice how much we can reverse all of this. And then my journey has gone on to teach healthcare professionals, write consensus statements for healthcare professionals on best practice for heart health and diabetes health. And that's been my journey, and it's been really, really rewarding.
Oh, that's brilliant. I remember listening to one of your podcasts, and it made me chuckle because you said that you came across plant-based diets just by chance because you were looking up gardening. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
So I was always vegetarian, and I love gardening. And so I was home one evening and I didn't have my glasses on, and I was looking for something to watch, and I happened upon a documentary that was, it turned out, not about growing vegetables, but about veganism. And so I accidentally watched this, and it really opened up my eyes to the food choices we make and how they impact not just the lives of animals, but, you know, our lives as people, you know, growing up, and how much our food impacts our risk of disease and so on. And it made me think a lot more about my food choices. I think, like most people, we don't always make the connection between the way we eat and what happens to us in life. We inherit our food choices, and this really made me start to step back and think, is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? And so after going along for about 8 months, making small choices, I eventually came to the point where I became completely whole food, plant-based, and I've never looked back.
That's brilliant. Did you have any guidance, or did you do it blindly a little bit? How did you know what to eat, really?
Well, that was the main thing, is I spent a long time making that transition, because my biggest concern was, how do I feed my children safely? And actually, the more research I did about it, the more I realized that this was the best way to feed my children. And so the kind of places where I got a bit stuck were thinking, how do I feed my kids well? I ended up going for a day with my aunt, and she taught me, she did this sort of crash course in cooking lentils and legumes, and that
Amazing.
transformed my life, you know. So that made things a lot easier for
Kids
me.
love lentils, don't they?
They
It's
really
so hearty,
do.
isn't it? It's like comfort food.
So we have some real go-to recipes that are very, very quick in the weekdays and the kids love. And I found that, you know, making small changes bit by bit really makes all the difference. But the other thing I'd been really worried about was how easy it would be for them at school, on play dates, on school trips and things like that. So I had been a little bit reluctant, and they were quite determined to go 100% plant-based.
Oh wow,
and
that's amazing.
yeah, and so I realised I was completely wrong. It wasn't difficult at all. The school embraced it, their friends' parents have embraced it, their friends and their friends' parents have been trying to shift more in that direction themselves because they understand the benefits for their own health, and it's made a big difference to their lives as well, in terms of healthy weight loss, in terms of reducing symptoms, in terms of reducing cholesterol, in terms of reducing their blood sugars. There have been so many benefits. So it has been a really positive journey for my whole family. Even though I had my doubts, I was completely wrong.
That's absolutely amazing. My family aren't fully plant-based because when they're out they might have a little bit of dairy, but many of our listeners may not have whole families that are plant-based, but actually just even making those little swaps and having recipes that you can adapt for everybody, because it's just delicious food. It's not,
Yes.
either it's plant-based or it's not, can bring people in to get the benefits of plant-based eating without being fully plant-based, right?
I absolutely agree. I don't think it has to be about perfection. It has to be about progress. So every time you're adding more plants to your plate, and that often means you're having to take something off your plate, and that may be the best benefit comes from taking away animal source foods from your plate. However, every addition to your plate of more plants, of greater variety, of greater whole foods is a step in the right direction. And I think with kids, that, you know, I don't think you need to be too strict. I think that happens little by little, just trying new foods. So I don't think you should get too stressed about it.
Yeah, and I think people think that if I take this out, what are they going to eat? But actually a lot of people say that they had less varied diets to begin with, and then afterwards it's like, oh my God, I can have this fruit and I can have this vegetable. I've never tried it before.
Absolutely.
So it can open your eyes to the variety of plant foods there are, right?
Absolutely. So one thing I did was I did a program at a GP practice, and this was using lifestyle to lower cholesterol. And one of the sessions we brought in whole families, including kids, and just showed them really quick weekday recipes.
Amazing.
And the really impressive thing was how much pester power the parents got from their children to have these plant-based versions of foods that they ate every day. And so, you know, sometimes you're just making changes that seem daunting, but then when you try them, they're a lot easier than you think.
And you're on YouTube as well, so I'll link your videos. See some self-promoting there of your recipes as well. Like I was especially enticed by putting tangerines. I love mixing fruit with cooked food, so I will try that.
Oh, lovely. That's a family favourite in our house. It's really quick.
I must try that from you then. I think you need to come again and make that for us. So
thank you.
Should we get going with the recipe?
Okay.
So Sundhya, I've got a special kind of protein. I don't know if I run this by you, you'll be like, no, it's not healthy. But this is what we're using. We're using these pea and fava bean mince pieces. They're like soya chunks, but obviously made from pea and fava beans. And I really like the texture of them because soya chunks can get quite rubbery and soft, whereas these are much firmer.
Where did you get them?
I got them from Holland and Barrett, but obviously all our viewers aren't from the UK, so you can use soya chunks in this recipe, or you can substitute it for tofu. You can put chickpeas in if you like as well. So we're going to marinate this, and we want to marinate it for at least 10 minutes. Doesn't need very long. These are the chunks, and they've literally just been rehydrated in cold water, and then I've just squeezed the water out. So I've left it for 10 minutes. And they take on this texture now. They're just a bit drier, they get a bit bigger and fluffier. So we're just gonna add the marinade ingredients to that. So I'll put that there and give you the stuff. So we've got some tandoori masala and also some salt to taste. You can use whatever spices you like, obviously Indian spices because this is an Indian dish. I don't think smoked paprika is going to work well, but if you put that in. So I think my mum wants to adopt every other person that's come here because they seem to pour more like generally than me because I put it in one corner. So I've got some soya unsweetened yogurt. I hope that's okay with you.
Oh yes.
It adds more protein, and obviously soya is great for menopausal health, protecting against breast and prostate cancer. Everyone's bored of me saying that in every single recipe that I add tofu in.
I think it's so helpful to know though.
Yeah,
Actually,
I think so.
The best time to sort of be introducing it, if you have girls, is from childhood, and they become better at converting beneficial compounds if you start it for breast cancer protection from childhood.
That's absolutely amazing, and you might find that they don't like it the first time. My daughter didn't. It was hard to get her to eat tofu, but you find ways to make it, like grating it apparently gives it a better texture.
Yeah. Or even edamame beans in a salad, you know?
Yeah, they're brilliant. I've got some lemon juice here. And then we just give that a mix. I'm just going to give you this spoon because I don't want any more washing up. My mum's not here, so... And it's as simple as that, and we'll leave that. No pressure, Sundhya. She's only watching, you know. I'm watching you stir.
I'm a big fan, so, you know, I don't want to disappoint her. I'm a big fan.
My father-in-law is impressed with you. He's like, she's always smiling. And then my mum will be like, can we swap children, please? Right, so that's it marinated there, as you can see. All right, so next is the beetroot raita. I didn't want to add a tadka like Alia part because it's just too many spices otherwise. This will be still lovely and cooling. I've got some grated beetroot here.
So this is plain cooked beetroot?
It's plain cooked beetroot out of a packet. Make sure it's not in vinegar, so this is without vinegar, but if it does have vinegar, just don't add lemon juice to the rest of the dish. So if you could add that in for me.
All of it?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Brilliant. Pouring there, Sundhya. We should start a catering company.
Yeah, absolutely. Health and food.
Then we're going to add some more soya yogurt. See, I mean, she's spreading it. My mom, please don't watch this. You're going to be so disappointed in me. Sundhya, you mentioned writing guidelines and going to conferences.
Yes.
Are those organisations adopting plant-forward diets? Because some organisations can be very difficult around it and haven't caught up with the science.
I absolutely agree. I think, you know, what I find really interesting is that people think that there isn't a consensus on nutrition.
Yeah.
But there's enormous consensus. So if you look at cardiovascular guidelines by major societies, diabetes guidelines by major societies, the European Society of Cardiology, the American College of Cardiology, the American Heart Association, the European Association for the Study of Diabetes, kidney associations, all of them, every single one of them says if you want to prevent heart disease, diabetes, kidney disease, all of these conditions, cancers, they all say adopt a plant-based diet, every single one of them.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing.
So even amongst healthcare professionals, they don't always realise that there is enormous consensus.
That's the thing, it just seems so bitty, and the reason being is there's so much misinformation out there. Even some doctors adopting keto diets.
Yes.
So then it's knowing, you know, what's healthy, what's not healthy. But I don't think we're going to have any study that turns around and says vegetables are bad for us.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing.
So we've got some more lemon juice here.
Lovely.
And if your yogurt is quite sour, don't add this. All right, so now I've got some spices that are going in here to make this taste nicer. So I've got some cumin powder. I've got some chaat masala. That's a blend of spices that I've mentioned in my previous videos. You can buy it from a South Asian store. If you haven't got that, you can add mango powder or just omit it. And then we've got some red chili powder. I like to use Kashmiri chili powder because it has a gentle heat. And then we've got some salt to taste. Omit this if you like. Okay, and then we just give that a good mix.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Look at those colours.
I know, I love it. I just love it for the way it looks, doesn't matter what it tastes like.
I have to say, it actually smells really good too. If only there was smell-o-vision.
Some people don't like black salt that's in chaat masala. It does have a little bit of an eggy taste, but it does mellow down once you add it. Okay, so we'll set this aside and we'll make the main dish.
Sounds good.
All right, so we've got a pan that's nice and hot. We're going to put some oil in there. For people that are oil-free, if you've got a really good non-stick pan, you could do it. It might stick at the bottom, that's the only thing, but burnt rice in some cultures is really nice. I love having the bit at the end,
Yeah.
don't you?
The
When you
little
turn it
crispy
over,
bit.
the
Yeah.
crispy bits. Anyway, so we're going to add 1 tablespoon, and that's all that's going in the whole dish, and it's extra virgin olive oil that we're using here in a dark bottle to keep the antioxidants. So Sundhya, you're South Asian. Would you like to tell the listeners a little bit about your background? And also, you know, as South Asians, we get a lot of stick about our diets not being healthy. That's why, you know, we may have a family history of diabetes. Is that true, or can the diet be healthy?
I think our diets have a huge amount that are fantastic, but there are just a few tweaks that if we were to do a little bit better on those, I think they can make all the difference. But by and large, I think most Asian families, we like to know how to cook. We don't tend to eat much ultra-processed food. We have a lovely variety of fruits, vegetables, pulses. Ideally, I think the few areas where we fall down a little bit is we tend to have white rice and other refined grains. We tend to fry some breads, and that's not very good for us.
Although they do taste good.
They do taste good, so maybe keep those for if you're going for a special occasion like a wedding, and then don't feel too bad about it. But if we could dial down, certainly around the house, on fried foods, particularly fried breads, white rice, and certainly we could do with, we put a lot of ghee and a lot of dairy into our food, and dairy has saturated fat in it, and this is one of the biggest drivers of a raised cholesterol and cardiovascular disease, so diseases of the heart and the blood vessels. And so if we were to restrict or avoid these, this would really reduce our risk of developing diabetes and heart disease.
Yeah, that's what we're showing you is just simple swaps, like changing
Really
to a plant-based milk or a plant-based yogurt.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to completely, like, what do I replace in this? You
Yeah.
have got those replacements readily available in supermarkets, right?
And this is a great example of a replacement for, say, white rice.
Yeah.
You know, millets are fantastic.
And in fact, I like the taste of it now because it has a nuttier taste. It has more aroma to it, I think.
Exactly.
Could you tell people about the health benefits of millets?
Absolutely. So millets are gluten-free for if you want to avoid gluten. There is.
I didn't know that, so I can tag gluten-free in the recipe now.
They are also associated with reducing your risk of type 2 diabetes. They lower LDL cholesterol, as do all whole grains. So they are amongst the healthiest foods you can eat. And there are all different types of millets. Millet isn't just one grain, it's a group of grains. And so, you know, you can find very small grains, which you could perhaps mix with other grains if you want to add greater variety of the grains you're eating. And you can have larger grains, and they can be quite sort of fluffy and delicious, and they're full of nutrients, so they're a great addition.
I think we spoiled it here. Like, she's going to like it, right? We don't have to be like, oh my God, what's a taste test? Let's see. Okay, I think that oil's hot now. We're going to add our whole spices. Now, I know it might be intimidating for some people, but pulao is a rice dish that's cooked by the absorption method, and there is layering of spices. But obviously having more spices in your diet is very good for us, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
So we've got a cinnamon stick, we've got some cumin seeds, we've got some cloves, and we've got some cardamom pods. I've got some green cardamom, which I've just bashed a little with a pestle and mortar. You can use black cardamom instead. And I've got star anise as well. Now, if you don't have all of these spices, don't worry, just add what you have, okay? So we'll just add that in. I'll let you do the honors because there's nothing like a free lunch. So.
Oh, it does look beautiful.
And Sundhya, if you can give that a good mix.
Ooh, thank you.
And then we're gonna add just one more spice before we add the onions. And we'll just toast that for 30 seconds.
I can already smell that. It smells really good.
So we're going to add some curry leaves. Again, if you don't have curry leaves, you don't have to add them. You can add 1 bay leaf instead. So we'll put that in and they'll sizzle nicely, hopefully, if this is hot enough. Right, pretend they sizzled. Okay, and we'll mix that.
They sizzled quietly.
They are sizzling. It's just this compact gas. Someone's stomach's rumbling there. Okay, so we're going to add some sliced onions.
Oh, now we can hear the sizzling.
Yeah, see, it does really work because I get told off by the aunties that, you know, I need to add oil for the mustard seeds to pop. or I haven't waited for the pan to get hot enough. I've got proof, I've got a witness. So we're just going to cook these until they get soft. All right, so that's lovely and brown there. You can smell all the spices have come out in bloom. So
Smells amazing.
Thank you. I don't know if my mum will agree, but we're going to add some ginger here, which I've peeled and grated.
Lovely.
You can use frozen if that's easier for you. I've used frozen before as well. And then we're going to put some garlic in. If you are Jain or Swaminarayan, then you can omit this. Obviously omit the onions as well. So Sundhya, while I mix this, we can put a bit more.
A little bit more?
Yeah, half of that. I don't know if you find it too much garlic, otherwise we can just add the whole.
Garlic.
All right, let's add it all in. Add it all in. Because we've got quite a lot of cauliflower going in as well. I'm just going to add some water as well while you do that. To stop things from sticking.
Great tip if you don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to keep adding more oil, so we'll add a tiny bit of water. Sundhya, what are your favourite cultural foods?
So I love Indian food. I'm from South India.
Okay. Whereabouts in South India?
So Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
So yeah, but I'm not as big a fan of South Indian food. I love North Indian food, so Punjabi food in particular. And I love Italian food, Japanese food, Chinese food. This is
Everything,
the beauty, isn't it?
You just love food.
I love food. I do love food. Lebanese food, Mexican food. I mean, we're very lucky, aren't we? We can have access to so many different cuisines and, see what we
live near
really
London,
like.
right? So
Exactly.
And if you don't live somewhere that's so multicultural, follow me, right? I do lots of twist recipes. If you like Indian, you like Mexican, I put them together.
Yeah.
I don't think either culture will be happy with it, but
I think it's great. I mean, that's the beauty, isn't it? Taking all different plant types of food and just changing the spices. And what you're really doing is you're just adding to the variety that you can eat.
Definitely. So I've got some cauliflower here, which I've cut into small florets. The aunties are going to tell me off. This is one thing I forgot again. All right, so we've got some green chilies here, which I've chopped up. Do you like spicy food?
I love spicy food.
Okay, go on, add it all in.
Great.
But you can add that when we add the garlic and ginger instead. I worry all the time about whether people can take spice or not. So, all right, so then I've got the powdered spices so that the cauliflower gets marinated with this. So we've got garam masala. I like pav bhaji masala. I've got some coriander powder. I've not added any cumin powder because that's actually as the whole form in here. And then we've got some amchur or mango powder. Again, if you don't have this, don't add it. You can just add more lemon juice. And then we've got some turmeric powder and some black pepper. Why do we add turmeric and black pepper, Sundhya? I'm like testing
we
you.
have the curcumin in turmeric, which has a huge number of beneficial anti-cancer, helps clear some of the toxins in our body. And then we have piperine in black pepper. So it's quite hard to absorb the curcumin and turmeric. So if you want to really ramp up that absorption, you need to have a little bit of the piperine from black pepper in there as well. All right, so we're just going to let that cook until it's tender. So it can be anywhere between 3 to 5 minutes. You don't want it very soft, you just want it al dente because we're going to add other stuff in there. Lovely. Do you keep the lid on or off? You keep the lid off. I know she's going to make this. No one else is like, I'm not going to bother making this again. She's going to make it again. I can smell it. I'm going to make this. Thank you. Right, if it starts sticking, just add some water again. It really does smell good. Okay, so then we're going to add some quartered cherry tomatoes now. Lovely. And we'll just let these soften. So it'll be about 2 minutes. Okay, so that's softened now. You can see that all the tomatoes are blistered. Lovely. Now, Sundhya, we're going to add in our marinated I was going to call them soya chunks, but our pea protein chunks, if you don't mind adding those in. And there'll be a nice surprise in this pulao. And we'll give that a stir for about 2 minutes. I promise you there's an end to this, okay, Sundhya? You're like, so many steps. Pulaos have this layering effect, right? So we can't dump it all in one go, but I will share a rice recipe where we do dump everything next time. So we'll add some boiling water. Okay, so then we'll let that come to a boil. We're gonna add our millet. It's called Kodo millet. I'm not sure, in Gujarati we call it Kodri. I don't know if you know what it's called in Tamil, but this is what the grain looks like. And
And if you want to add that in.
Thank you. So that's a nice small grain. So even if you were, for example, doing a mixed grain, you could have a jar with all different types of grains, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. I haven't tried it with the timings, but this takes the same time as normal rice would, so I would suspect it would work. So then we're going to add some carrot.
Lovely. Some more variety again.
Yeah.
Lovely colours in there.
You can put whatever vegetables you like. So then we're going to add some salt to taste. So Sundhya, if you give that a good mix, and then we'll put the lid on, and then we'll leave it on the stove for about 8 to 10 minutes. And we'll leave that to cook. All right, so that's done now. The majority of the cooking is done, and it's going to continue to cook with steam, and that's why we're going to put some foil on top now, Sundhya.
Brilliant.
I don't want you to burn your hands and see me, but you can see it's nearly cooked. We're going to add the foil on top. We'll need probably 2 pieces. And then we'll leave that to rest for at least 5 minutes. And actually, you can leave it as long as you need until you serve, and it will be lovely and warm. So if you put that on for me.
Put it on the top.
Yeah. Give it some welly, Sundhya. So there you go.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and then we'll just wrap that round.
Perfect.
And there we go. We literally just need some finishing touches, and then we'll just display this, put a bit of coriander. I'll let you do that, Sundhya. So Sundhya, do you want to do the finishing touches? No pressure, all right? This looks like
all
a painting.
the final credit. It looks so beautiful.
Fine. Pick some nice bits of coriander.
Ooh, okay.
And my mum's going to be like, you didn't dry these enough.
So let's just sprinkle those on. Oh, lovely.
I hope you enjoy it.
Freshness.
So, yeah, this is an alternative to rice, hopefully. And it's kind of like having couscous. So I think people will be familiar with that kind of taste. It doesn't have like loose grains like rice, but it's still delicious and has all the same flavour notes. So Sundhya, I'm on a budget. This is to feed my family. So I'm sorry, this is what you're allowed, okay?
It looks perfect.
You're so nice. Like literally, if this was my mum, I'd be shouted at. All right, do you want to give that a taste?
I do, very much so. I mean, it just smells outstanding. It looks beautiful, the colours. Let's try it. That is utterly delicious. That is utterly delicious, really. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to keep eating that.
Well, there we have it. I'm really impressed with how this Kodri Pulao turned out, and I think I've convinced Dr. Sundhya Raman as well, who's impressed with the flavours and the health benefits, hopefully. If you'd like to learn more from her expertise in diabetes and heart health, I've linked her details in the description below. If this recipe has inspired you to try more nutritious takes on classic Indian dishes, do check out my playlist where I show you how to make traditional favourites in a healthier, protein-packed way. Thank you so much for joining us both today, and I'll see you in the next one. I tell my mum that all the time. She's like, "Are we rolling? Okay, smile."
I love your mum. Your mum just makes me laugh. She's so cute. Is she genuinely that cute?
Yes and no.
Oh, Lauren, is she genuinely that cute?
Is cute.
She might know what it is.
She's
I think that's the thing. You have to start training the parents from quite early on.
Cheesy joke.
Oh,
Love it.
I like it.
My daughter helps me come up with these silly, like, over genius.
I bet she loves that. She loves being a part
She
of
wants
it.
to be in the video, but I was like, no.
Oh. Yeah.
I just remember saying all her details, her phone number, her email address, her address where she lives, and you can stalk her.
Okay. Do you really cook? You're so good.
Sometimes, and my husband's just like, can you just make something simple? Like,
I was just saying that I'm going to try and move my family in with Tila's family.
my family don't appreciate me. Or my son will write a card and go, the compliment is mummy cooks good food. And I was like, okay, fine. Okay, we'll put the lid on. So fake. Right.